Hello, welcome to Pitch 2023 conference. My name is Professor Cihan Çobanoğlu, and I'm the Dean of School of Hospitality and Tourism Management in the MoMA College of Business at the University of South Florida. I am sorry that I cannot attend this conference in person, even though I really wanted to attend. I would like to go ahead and get started to my presentation, which is titled as Sustainable Tourism, the Impact of Technology. So allow me please to share my screen so that I can show you what I am going to present. So first of all, I would like to tell you that I would like to bring the greetings of my university from University of South Florida to this Pitch 23 conference. I would like to also tell you that I'm the proud founding editor of Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Technology, and we are pleased to welcome some of the papers to our journal. And JHTT is a Scopus and SSCI index journal, and our impact factors are as follows that you see on the screen. So we would like to, of course, receive papers from all the attendees of Pitch 2023 conference. Without further ado, because of the limited time, I would like to go ahead and get started with my presentation. So in the M3 Center, which is the research center of the University of South Florida School of Hospitality, we used to do think tanks. This was before the pandemic, and also we continued some of it after the pandemic as well too. So we would like to do this also more in the future. So the first three think tanks happened in Vietnam in October 2018, in New York 2018 also, and February 2019 in Cyprus. So we covered quite a bit the world with the think tanks, but that was not enough. At the end of 2019, we also did a global study, Delphi method, and I'm going to hide this, global study Delphi method from a variety of different stakeholders, from the tourists, from the travelers, from the hoteliers, from the restaurateurs, from all different parts of the hospitality industry, academicians, students, government officials, tourism destinations, etc. What we have asked them is about the trends of travel and tourism industry for 2030. That was the question. So we wanted to find out, people throw out different ideas, what are going to be the top trends. So, and we got this, of course, this is the word cloud that you see, and then we combined our think tank findings with our Delphi method findings, and we came up with this top 10 hospitality tourism 2030 trends. Number one is sustainable tourism. Hence, the topic of my subject for Pitch 23 conference is sustainable tourism and the impact of technology, which is my area. Number two is technology as a trend. Number three is experience tourism, innovation, security and safety, personalization, artificial intelligence and robots, sharing economy, alternative tourism, and wellness tourism. So these are the top 10. We can actually have a presentation for every single of them one by one. Obviously, we don't have time, so I'm going to focus on sustainable tourism in this particular presentation. As we all know, world population now surpassed 8 billion people, and this is now going up and up every single day. This is the simulated population meter, so to speak, as we see that there are more than 8 billion people on Earth right now. If you look at this particular growth rate, and the predictions are showing that by 2100 we are going to be 10 billion people in the world. So think about this. A lot of people are going to travel. And also when you look at this slide, which is very busy, but I want you to just look at the top portion. And I want you to please just look at 1990. In 1990, this is World Tourism Organization's numbers. And also what you see here is the international tourist numbers, a tourist that travels from one country to another, from their own country to another country. In 1990, there were 435 million people traveled from their country to another country and came back. If you look at the distribution of this, again, I am just talking about here, if I can bring my mouse here, that look at it. From that 435 million people, 299 million people they were from advanced economies, and 136 million from emerging economies. Advanced economies are USA, Canada, Germany, UK, etc. And developing countries are Malaysia, Turkey, India, Brazil, Russia, etc. So this was, if you look at the proportion, approximately 1/3 from emerging countries at that time and 2/3 from advanced economies. If you look at 2015, I think 2014 was the first year that we had more than 1 billion international travelers. 2015, 1.186 billion people traveled from one country to another. But if you look at the distribution now between advanced economies and emerging economies, it's almost 50-50. So what does this tell us? This trend that kind of like stopped here in this particular statistics in 2015, that tells us that emerging economies, the people now have more disposable income, hence they can travel more than they used to. So the reason why I told you about this, that 10 billion people in 2100, currently in 2023, 8 billion plus people, that now we are going to see more and more people are going to travel for international travels in the world. And of course, as we know, United Nations have the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 of them. If you look at these goals, almost every single of them have some kind of implication from sustainability and also from tourism and travel and hospitality industry, every single of them, right? So we know that. And tourism is, as I've told you, is an interdisciplinary field that impacts many of these 17 sustainability goals for 2030, although I believe that probably by 2030, we are not going to achieve many of them. We're going to have a good progress, and I think they are wonderful, and we will be able to do it, but it's not there. According to a report produced by UNESCO, the United Nations Environment Program says that, and of course, Union of the Concerned Scientists, major heritage sites are at risk due to mass tourism and global warming. We know that we've been talking about over-tourism. Of course, pandemic stopped this a little bit, and we have seen pictures like this. There are so many people, just like picture after picture. I can repeat these examples to tens or hundreds that you see around the world, things like this, just the Great Wall in China. I mean, how can you call this an experience? I mean, this is just packed, right? This picture from 2013, but the idea here is that too many people going to places, of course, they are impacting that particular regions. China wants people to stop stealing Great Wall bricks, and this is the Walt Disney Resort in Orlando, Florida, very, very crowded. And of course, this is the same place after the pandemic, right? And people said, oh my God, we were talking about over-tourism, but now there's no tourism. But yet, as we all know, in 2023, that the pandemic is over. Hopefully, it will never come back. But during this time, we have learned some important lessons. Venice tourists, Venice, Italy, the locals are sick of you. We hear this all the time, which brings us the question of ecology versus economy. So let's kind of like look at how we can balance the two. And I would love to tell you some of the technological tools that can help that. We have done a study, me and my colleagues. We looked at the climate change in the United States. We had thousands of hotels data, and of course we know the climate. So we have looked at actually the profitability of the hotels over different periods of time. And we also correlated this with the weather change. What we have seen that the change in gross profit per available room decreased to as the heat index is going up. So this is one indication that this global warming, as scientists are warning us, is not just about the environment, but it's also about, of course, profitability as well too. And also, as I told you, the pandemic has taught us a lesson. Let me show you this particular video from Venice, Italy, how during the pandemic that we have realized that having too many tourists in one destination without having any control can create.
Italy was Europe's first epicenter for the coronavirus outbreak, but now it's starting to reopen. Venice, one of the world's most famous cities, has suffered without its usual tourists, but it's enjoyed an unintended benefit. Here's Liv Say traveled to the city of water to see how nature is suddenly flourishing.
Good morning. Now, as hard as the lockdown has been on all of us, there's one silver lining no one can deny. Staying at home has been largely good for the environment. And here in Venice, this lagoon city has returned to its pre-industrial tranquility. Venice, perhaps more than any other city under lock, has gone from one extreme to the other. The Rialto Bridge, the Grand Canal, even St. Mark's Square deserted. Streets and canals usually awash with tourists, now so still, nature is filling the void, says ecologist Michael Cihan. You'll find an octopus beneath a dock, schools of fish and underwater life, and jellyfish like the one we spotted. Hardly any boats to scare them away, or to churn up cloudy sediment. The transformation's so dramatic, the European Space Agency snapped these satellite images, taken 1 year apart, conspicuously absent. Last year, more than 600 passed through, their titanic size splashing corrosive waves on this fragile foundation, says environmental scientist.
What is going on with these steps? They look like they're about to fall in the water.
They probably are about to fall in the water.
Once last year, the damage was not so fragile. People were injured when this water slammed into the nation's dock. But today,
It's more like a day, and I just imagine that all the buildings in Venice.
As we can see from this video, that for the sake of time, I just would like to move on, that the ecology came back, but of course economy went. So we are still trying to look for the balance. One of the things that we can do is to be able to use the technology that can help us. Smart city concept is quite common now. It's not just only one component, but smart government, smart agriculture, smart, all of these different things combined together that creates the smart city. Of course, as part of the smart city is smart tourism. What we do is that we bring different components of tourism with the Internet of Things that will also help us to be able to make decisions and connect the systems so that without the human interruption, that we can have the systems talk to each other and talk. For the sake of this presentation, I define technology. There is so many different definitions that I define. This is just my definition. Any skill, tool, process, or way of doing anything better, faster, more efficient, cheaper, and more sustainable, I define it as technology. And smartness or smart, I define it as connected technologies that make decisions or take actions without manual input. That creates, of course, the whole idea is to efficient, faster, cheaper processes. So back to this, and I want you to think about this while we are talking about some of the different technologies. As we said, smart city makes cities more livable. Some of the technology that I'm going to show here is not just helping the tourists, the travelers, but also the residents as well too. So let's talk about the Internet of Things. That's the technology that connects different devices together. It's based on the internet, of course, and all of these devices, that let it be our coffee machine in the home, or refrigerator, or our computers, or lights, or our water systems, they are all connected to the internet. They have an IP address. Therefore, it's called Internet of Things, like this. And this already happened. Today, if you were to go and shop for a refrigerator, chances are high that you are going to see these smart fridges where the refrigerator scans everything inside and tells you when the milk is getting out, and when there's no eggs, whatever that you want, it will actually let you know, text you, or even better, that you can actually connect your fridge or refrigerator to your shopping grocery store, that when the milk is out, it will automatically order and come if you prefer to do so. This is what we are currently have. This picture that you see is from the Home of the Future that was existed here 25 years ago. Bill Gates created this home at the Microsoft campus in Seattle, and I had the pleasure of visiting there at that time. Before we knew anything, they had the RFID tags, and it knew what kind of things you had in your kitchen. Based on the things that you have, maybe egg, flour, whatever that you had, it will actually offer you some recipes so that you can actually start a recipe and do not have to stop and go to the grocery store and get it. Another technology is the street lights. As we all know, they are wonderful. They give us light, they give us security, but you can also use them for traffic information, parking availability, surveillance, of course, for safety and security, and weather quality. So you can actually have the sensors that these smart street lights actually can do more than just giving light to the streets. Chicago, Paris, and many, many other cities are now using these kind of lights. And imagine that Eva has an appointment in town looking for a parking spot. With the help of these kind of things, that it can actually get the app and will tell Eva where to park very, very easily without, of course, consuming too much time, and also very efficiently. Another example, this is good for accessibility purposes, is that the smart wheelchairs are actually can communicate in select cities with traffic lights. So this way, you can actually allow the person on the wheelchair to be, for the light, for the green light, for the pedestrian to take effect until he or she passes safely. So as we said, that the whole goal is sustainability, and let's look at some other technologies. This is weather sensors. They allow the automatic watering and also detect leaks in golf courses. Florida, the state that I am talking to you about from, is a lot of golf courses. Of course, golf courses have a lot of green areas. You need to water them. Florida is quite hot climate. So for that reason, they have these smart watering systems that actually talk with not only they can measure the humidity level in the earth, but also can also talk to the weather channel, so that this way, when it rains or it's going to rain, it doesn't water, and saves about 30 to 40% water. Smart air conditioning, as we know, this is a very typical air conditioning system. Here they call split AC here, but you know, the engineers thought about the underground city in Cappadocia in Turkey. And if you look at this city, if you've ever been there, for those of you, you may have actually go to level 3, I think maybe maximum level 4, but this is quite actually deep, 6, 7 different levels. As you go down, you are going to see that it gets colder and colder and colder. In those ages, when the humans lived there, they didn't have refrigerators, of course, so they put their meat and perishable items into the level 4 or 5 because it was naturally very cold. So scientists took a clue from this particular idea, and they actually created this chiller plants where they take the water tanks and they dig the earth and they put this in deep, and the water inside is automatically becomes cold, and they take this cold water through the pipes, and the hot air goes through these cold pipes, and then therefore cooling the air with very, very limited energy consumed. So this is a lot of hotels, resorts, big areas, conference centers are actually cool now with chiller plants, which is one example that you see here. And water, electricity meters, so humans don't need to go there, much more available. And the consumptions is available for real time that allows people to be able to actually, if they need to save water, they can do it. Here is one technology called robotic eel. And this is a robotic, obviously like a fish, looks like a fish. And it actually, as you see in this video, it goes and takes water sample and it analyzes this and sends the results immediately to the control center, where they can share this information with tourists or with residents alike for swimming purposes, for drinking water purposes, etc. Similarly, in Dubai, they are doing different things. Similar idea, but this also collects trash, like you see in the video. We are going to see more and more innovations like this one. These traffic lights, smart traffic lights, are actually not just duration, but they can detect the traffic in a particular direction and try to maximize the flow so that people don't have to spend too much time in traffic. Here in China, the college actually has this QR codes, which the students actually scan to activate the water in real time. They are using how much water they are using. Actually, they even limit the number of minutes that you can use this water. Good or bad, I don't know, but there are going to be many more technologies. We all have to decide if these are good technologies. Maybe today this looks like pretty radical idea, but in the future, if the water becomes more scarce, I will never be surprised if we see this in our daily life for everybody. Smart transportation, this is Dreamliner 787, the first plane that is made 100% made of plastic, therefore it's much lighter, so it saves 20 to 30% less fuel. Therefore, this is used in low-cost carriers, even across the oceans. Flying cars this is pretty actually recent. This was in July. The United States certified the first electric flying cars. We're going to see this in the next 10 to 15 years in our lives, just like the one that you are seeing is a prototype here, which is actually happening. Of course, these electric cars are going to change a lot of things. Here's an autonomous cars. As you know, Google and Tesla were putting a lot of time and investment into this. They stopped because it was not there. Now they change how it was actually, instead of maybe GPS, they are now using sensors. And I think this technology is going to be very prominent. This is a hotel. It allows the guests to be able to control the energy levels by themselves, how many times they want their sheets to be changed, what is the temperature when they leave the room, etc., which also saves a lot. As you know, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Here that you see that there are now two more that came into our lives, Wi-Fi and battery life, as we know. But even though this is a joke, that it's really becoming a reality, because we want USB connectivity. We want power for our devices everywhere. As you see, hotels are implementing this now. This is a regular USB, but there's C-type, etc. All of these, and wireless, of course, as well too, and many, many more examples. But we'll very much soon will be able to charge all of our devices wirelessly in our entire homes or businesses. There's different companies. There's also electricity charging through Wi-Fi, as you see on this video.
But current wireless charging options just aren't there yet. So what if we could charge our phones with Wi-Fi?
There's many more, and this particular company from Israel have actually invented the glass, but that is solar power. Normally, the solar power is big black kind of panels, but now this is the clear see-through glass that actually serves as the solar power. So in the future, our buildings are going to be made mainly made of glass, just like this one. We are going to do it. This is a 100% solar Marriott courtyard. Here, as you see, the hotel is 100% powered by this solar farm. Also, there is a brewing station that brings their power from wind. These are just some examples. This is from Taiwan. I was there. This is the Gogoro smart scooter. This is the battery powered, but you can actually take the batteries out, go to a gas station, it looks like a gas station, swap those batteries with the ones that are already charged. So you don't even have to wait, just simply as if that you are taking a gas, but you are actually doing this. I actually made even myself a video. So again, for the sake of time, I'm going to just fast forward. There will be many, many more technologies. What we need to do is to be able to look at these technologies and also implement them into hospitality, tourism, and travel industries, and try to, while we are increasing the tourism, which is wonderful for economy, this is wonderful for economic development, but at the same time, save the ecology, save our wonderful earth, and create this wonderful harmony and balance. Thank you so much for your attention. In my final slides, I would like to give you some research opportunities based on this particular presentation and others. Smart tourism destinations, the effectiveness of these technologies, that some of it that I listed here, there's many more I didn't. Also, impact of virtual reality on sustainable tourism, AR, as well to augmented reality, evaluating the environmental footprint of e-tourism, blockchain for sustainable tourism management, social media, renewable energy integration, big data analytics, sustainable tourism applications, waste management solutions, very important, and the role of AI in wildlife conservation and tourism. Here's my actually information, so feel free to please to contact me with any of this information, and if you wish, you can also download this presentation from the QR code from there. Thank you again. I wish you a wonderful conference.